What is up guys, it's Solheim here, back with another Wrath of the Lich King Classic video. So today we are talking about Wrath of the Lich King preparations, and I've made quite a few videos on this topic already, but there's always something popping up that is worth talking about within the topic of preparing for Wrath Classic, and this time it's something that you guys definitely need to know about, so you can avoid making some of these mistakes while preparing. It is easy to over-prepare, and you could burn out in the process, so hopefully by watching this video, you will have a couple of less things that you need to focus on during your Wrath prep. So far that intro might be a little bit vague, as I'm basically making a Wrath prep video on how to prep less, but honestly, I just want to talk about some things that people are doing that they maybe don't have to, and I also want to give you guys the best advice for moving into Wrath of the Lich King Classic. So let's begin. First up, items such as Riding Crop, or the Netherwing reputation equivalent like the Skybreaker Whip, or even the Carrot on a Stick, basically items and trinkets that increase your movement speed. These are items a lot of people will tell you to try to obtain before Wrath comes out, because mounted speed is always nice, right? The faster you move, the more effective you are. That being said though, in patch 3.0.2, aka the first patch of Wrath of the Lich King, these items were changed so they no longer work above level 70, meaning that if you intend to level up past level 70 at all, these items will be completely useless to you. Itemization is usually based on the last patch of the expansion for Classic WoW, so for example 3.3.5 for Wrath Classic, but even if it was based on the first patch, these items would be useless, so there's absolutely no reason why you should try to obtain these before Wrath of the Lich King as a part of your Wrath prep. That is what I mean when I said that you will have less things to prepare for, because this is one of those things that people will tell you to obtain, but as it's useless past level 70, it is straight up just a waste of time, and your efforts are much better spent preparing in different ways. Next up, regular mounted speed is set at 150% for flying mounts in Wrath of the Lich King, compared to the 60% that we currently have in TBC Classic. This means that the difference between regular flying and epic flying is a lot lower, and if you are low on gold, you might want to consider the gold to reward ratio of actually purchasing epic flying. Epic flying is definitely still worth it, especially if you plan to farm a lot or you just want to fly fast, but my point here is that it's technically worth more in TBC Classic, because the difference between regular flying and epic flying is massive, and that difference gap is brought closer with Wrath Classic. Now before we move further into the video, we also have to thank today's sponsor, myself. I've made and published a gold guide for Wrath of the Lich King Classic, teaching you everything you need to know about gold making and gold farming in Wrath of the Lich King. This guide includes exclusive investments that you can make thousands of gold in profit with. There's several gold farms available already that you will have access to at launch, and there's professions gold making strategies, auction house strategies, and a bunch more gold making information. Right now you can get the guide for 50% off by using the code Solheim, and once you purchase the guide you will also receive all of the future updates for free, always keeping you up to date with the best and most relevant gold making information, so check out that gold guide through the link down below in the video description. Now let's talk a little bit about professions. First of all, we have a brand new profession coming in Wrath of the Lich King, Inscription. Inscription uses herbs and mills them down to pigments, crafts those pigments into ink, and uses that ink for various crafts like Darkmoon cards, scrolls, and best of all, glyphs. Inscription will be massive, and because it is a brand new profession, people need to skill it up, and what I'm hinting at here is that people need to skill up Inscription from 1 to 300, aka old classic WoW herbalism materials, will be in insane demand, and you can start farming these right now, and sell them for big gold when Inscription becomes available, as some of these inks made from old herbs are used in crafting glyphs. They will also be in demand throughout the entire expansion, and this creates several new gold farms, as for example Herbalism in Winterspring and Ashara is currently making me over 400 gold per hour. Keeping on topic with professions, a lot of people will be swapping their professions around, as the best in slot professions in TBC Classic are not the same as they are in Wrath Classic, and you will see a lot of people switching from whatever they currently have to engineering, jewel crafting and blacksmithing, aka any 2 variations of those 3 options. So if you're one of those that will swap your professions around, better to do so now before everyone else starts, or if you just want to capitalize on some easy gold, then you can invest into some old classic WoW mining materials and sell them during the pre-patch. Alternatively, you can also grab mining and farm some decent gold in Kalimdor and Eastern Kingdoms, especially if you combine both herbalism and mining. One more thing to keep in mind is deciding your class. The class meta in Wrath of the Lich King will be completely different than it currently is in TBC Classic. Many more specs will actually be viable, and more party buffs are brought by more people, like for example Retribution Paladins can now bring the same mana battery functions as a Shadow Priest, so there's more alternatives out there. Have a discussion with your guild and see what is available in your Wrath raiding setups. If you really wanted to level fast in Wrath of the Lich King Classic, you can also look at pre-completing some quests ahead of time, then fly around and deliver them when Wrath comes out, so you can level up to 71 before even going to Northrend. The one downside with this is that you can set yourself back behind the curve, which might make it a little bit more chaotic in the questing area, but it also means that you can actually skip a lot of quests in the first questing zone, maybe even skip the entire zone together and move straight to the second questing zone, in which case you will be far ahead of the curve. You can pre-complete 25 quests in your quest log and turn them all in when the expansion goes live, plus you can have additional items in your banks that can start new quests, or items required for hand-in quests. Metagoblin made a full video about this, showing how to get to level 71 before entering Northrend, which I will leave a link to in the video description, but if you want to do it the lazy but still effective way, just complete as many high level quests as possible, and /or dungeon quests. Next up, in terms of preparing, there's a couple of things you literally can't do anymore in Wrath, or at least the rewards from them will no longer be obtainable. For example, the Amani Warbear from Suleiman will no longer be obtainable in Wrath Classic, so if you want that one, you need to get it now. We also get a new version of Noxramas in Wrath Classic, and many of the rewards available in the current version of Noxramas will be gone forever, so if you want to get some of those just for cosmetic or vanity purposes, go get them now. You can also hoard up those shoulder enchants for heirlooms in Wrath. And yeah, a last couple of tips. If you're an alchemist, do your quests to pick up your alchemy masteries, such as Transmute Master, Elixir Master, and Potion Master. These masteries are still relevant in Wrath, and will make a significant difference if you craft a lot. Last but not least, for basic leveling purposes, potions such as invisibility potions and speed potions will obviously help you while leveling up, and I always recommend getting at least a couple of stacks of these. They are better to have and not need than to need and not have. Especially if you plan to level up in Borean Tundra, there's a couple of quests that involve a lot of swimming, so having a potion to swim faster could be ideal. And yeah, I think that is pretty much it, and probably my final preparation video for Wrath of the Lich King, as I think I've covered pretty much everything there is to cover now, but hopefully you've enjoyed it, and hopefully it was helpful. If you want some economical prep for Wrath Classic, check out my gold guide through the link down below, and subscribe to the channel for more Wrath videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again very soon.